Today I want to talk to you about your physical and psychological limitations when running and why you need to understand them. So it's a lovely, beautiful Tuesday morning. It's all things running today. One of my favourite topics. This guy taking me out on the country road, but there you go. And today's topic was somebody who posted a question to one of my previous posts of joining my Facebook group, about the challenges of running. So it's a topic that I've explored and tested on numerous occasions. I don't advise necessarily testing yourself to the extreme, but basically it's really important you understand your physical and psychological limitations when running, because they can be dangerous. I've hit the wall on a couple of occasions on marathons, and it is up there with the worst experiences ever. Basically, your body is shutting down. It's basically dying, and it's dangerous. And you can push yourself to. It's amazing what you can achieve. However, you do it with a little bit of knowledge and understanding, you achieve more in a much more sustainable and safe way. I'll go back to London Marathon 2017, which was my first London Marathon. No, 2018, sorry, first London Marathon. I did 2018, 2009. I was supposed to do 2020, but it's going to be a virtual one this year. And that was the hottest London Marathon on record. It was about 33 degrees on the road, temperature. With all the body heat around you, it was unbearable. And it was my first London Marathon. I'd never really prepared. I trained well, but I never prepared for a race of that magnitude. As a result, I went off too quick, got caught up in the adrenaline of the event, hit a wall really, really quickly. I remember hurting it just past 7 miles. And my word, that was the longest 19 miles of my life. But you say that, but the last 5k was harder than the previous 23 miles. Because I just got my plan wrong, I got my strategy wrong, and I hit my absolute physical and psychological limitation. And I remember coming down the embankment, the crowd was 20 deep on either side, deafening. I couldn't see them. I was tunnel vision, blurry vision. I was delirious, I was staggering. I managed to get myself over the finish line, and I collapsed with heat exhaustion. And I swore to myself I'd never experience that again. But I did hit the wall again at the next London Marathon randomly. But it wasn't as bad as that occasion, because it wasn't so much heat exhaustion, it was just energy burnout. Still very, very bad, don't get me wrong. But understanding is really, really important. Just going to pass someone here. Excuse us. Morning. So this question came up, and it's something that I know a little bit about myself. Now, the first thing you need to understand about physical and psychological limitations when running is psychological is more important, because this is the order of importance of what you have to protect when you run. Your mind needs to be protected first. It needs to be positive. Now, your body will do what your mind tells it to, what your brain tells it to. So you have to keep your mind in good clarity, in good focus, and no negative thoughts. The moment you venture into this is really hard, I'm struggling here, your body's listening to your brain and feeling it more, shutting it down. If you say, this is tough, I'm going to do this, then it tells your body to do that. So your brain is the number one most important part when you run. This is my opinion. Number two is your cardiovascular system. So this is where you can kind of track your heart rate, breathing patterns, all sorts of things. And you need to obviously make sure that your cardiovascular system is performing at a level which allows you to continue. So that's number two. And like I say, I use heart rate to monitor this. I know that if my heart rate's too high for too long, I will burn out. And the final one is your muscles, your legs. And if you train well, your legs will learn to shift lactic acid a lot quicker, especially if you're training at lactate threshold, which I talked about in some of my previous heart rate training episodes. But your legs can keep on going. Even when I absolutely hit the wall in London, one thing that kept me going, even though I was completely delirious, I was completely shutting down, I was forcing my mind to tell me that my legs could keep going. And although they had nothing left in them, muscle fatigue, cramping, I managed to run the whole way in. And my first marathon, that was a massive achievement, especially how I was feeling. Now, when I say running, it was like 12.5-minute mile pace. So it's just one rung up for walking, really, but it was still a running motion, and it's still classified as running in my mind. So let's leave it there. But it's really important you understand that order, because as soon as you get negativity in your mind, the rest of your body will then start responding to those negative thoughts, and you'll start slowing down, you'll start shaking down. Cardiovascular is your fuel tank. So if you fueled correctly and you understand your heart rate, how hard you're breathing, how hard your body's working, you can fuel accordingly. If you fuel accordingly, you should be able to keep going. And not only keep going, but if you control your heart rate and your breathing, this is where you get into kind of ultra level. And that's where it's all about. It's not about speed necessarily. It's about controlling the efficiency your body works at. So that's really, really important. The last one, the legs, almost the least important. Okay, they have to have the stamina and endurance to be able to perform. But if you've done the training, it's all about your legs and your cardio. Sorry, not all about your brain and your cardio. If you keep those on point, your legs will follow. You'll drag your legs through it, even though they might be hurting. So I think it's really, really important to understand that and the things you can do for each. So hopefully this helps people understand the importance of where your limitations are. So what I mean by that is your brain, right, if your body starts shutting down, you start getting delirious. That is at the point where you've reached your physical, your psychological limitations. When your brain starts going delirious. Do not get there. If you fuel correctly, your brain will be fueled, and you should remain and have clarity of thought. When I say fuel correctly, fuel and conserve the fuel correctly. So if you go out trying to sprint a marathon, you'll very quickly learn that's not the way to run a marathon. So they are all interlinked, but it all stems from the brain. So your psychological limitation will be the result of the cardio failing you, or your cardiovascular system failing you, which you've either pushed yourself too hard or you haven't fueled correctly and you're running out of gas. That's when your body starts shutting down critical functions to try and keep itself alive. That's what ultimately happens when you hit the wall. So understand the importance of managing your cardiovascular system. It has a huge impact on your brain. If your brain can't give messages or positive messages to the rest of your body, you start shutting down a lot quicker. So keeping that positivity in your brain, telling yourself. The other thing I like to do is when I do my training runs, is remember those really tough experiences. Right? Remember those tough experiences, because when you're feeling the pain, take your mind back to those and how you came through it, how everything was right at the end. It just gives you that confidence that you can do this. So it's really, really important to kind of pull upon previous experiences. So cardio, this is a crucial one. I told you about talking about heart rate, breathing as well. Rhythmic breathing you can do. All these things to control your running efficiency. And so many people are all worried about pace, but pace is great and you can improve your pace. But pace is no good without efficiency. You know, anybody can sprint 50 meters. It's how long can you maintain that pace for? And that's where your efficiency and cardiovascular system comes in. So like I say, I use heart rate. There's other ways of doing it. Heart rate, rhythmic breathing, a couple of ways, and fueling is the ways that you can enhance your cardiovascular capability. And training. Training will ultimately strengthen your cardiovascular ability. So training is super, super important. But on a race day, when you're in the moment and understanding your limitations, it's about getting that fueling strategy right. Not working your body too hard and tracking it, whether you track it by heart rate or rhythmic breathing, whatever you track it, however you track your work rate. That's what it's all about, maintaining that efficiency to get you over. Your legs, again, you've got to have trained them to a certain level, but within reason, on a one-off occasion, they'll defy all logic. They'll keep going, they'll just keep going. And when you understand that, you can push yourself further than ever before. But the caveat to that is, if the top two parts of your body, the brain and cardiovascular system, morning, are shutting down, and there's no point having legs because they'll be shut down as well because your brain will be telling them to shut down. So this is just my views and my experiences on these things, but there's quite a few others that share these opinions about, most people talk about sport and the importance of the mind, and it's important in every aspect, but it's such a powerful tool, and people can build their muscles, can build do their training plans. They've got a weak mind. You get someone with less ability that will beat them based on pure willpower and making their body believe it can achieve amazing feats. So hope you found this useful. I hope it answers the question. I'll tag the person into this vlog of who this is for. But I hope a lot of you find this useful, because when you understand this, you can start putting the steps in place to avoid you having those horrendous experiences. Because, like I say, when you hit the wall, you're ill for the rest of the day. Your body is so weak and frail. I've been shivering on the couch in hot weather conditions. After London, hottest marathon record, I was shivering after it. So, morning. So really, really important that you kind of understand this stuff. Don't put yourself at risk. You see people collapsing on marathons and fatalities and stuff. This stuff is real, this stuff happens. But it's far less likely to happen if you understand your psychological and physical limitation. Know what's safe to push, when it's safe not to push. And don't learn by trial and error. Learn with a bit of science behind it, which is going to preserve your running career far longer than if you didn't. So, hope you found this useful. As always, any questions, drop me a line. I'll always guarantee to respond to every comment. If it's a bigger topic, I'll still respond, but I'll do a separate episode and tag you in. Or if you join the Facebook group and ask a question, I will do a separate episode based on your question. So I hope that's useful. If you think this is good value or help someone, please share, tag that person in. Or if you think it's just good value, just give it a like and it'll get a bit more reach and hopefully help others. On the contrary, on the flip side, if it's not for you and you find it irrelevant to you, just unfollow or unfriend me and you won't get cluttered up in your newsfeed. But don't mind to do a different topic each day of the week. So it might be that one topic per week is something that you're interested in. If that's the case, go over to my Facebook group and you don't have to be friends with me, but you can then access all the historical episodes based in categorised by topic. So hope that helps you. As always, hope you find it useful. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll speak to you on the next episode.